I'm a big believer in using mulch on my garden beds. It helps your garden bed retain moisture. It provides a food source for the soil and for beneficial microorganisms and earthworms. And one of the challenges I'm actually having is that there's so much activity in my garden beds, especially with the earthworms, that I can't find enough mulch to keep a layer of mulch on the bed. They consume it too quickly. And this bed in particular was covered with a thick mat of leaves just weeks ago. And at this time, it's a very thin layer of leaves left. So my challenge is, what am I going to do for mulch? Anywhere on this garden bed you could brush the mulch aside and find worm activity. So they're really consuming this mulch at a rapid rate. Look at that. You can pick any spot in this garden, pull back the mulch, and find that. Anywhere in this garden. Worms everywhere. So I've been doing some thinking on how I'm going to address that challenge. And like many of you, I've seen the Back to Eden garden video. And I thought, well, what about wood chips? Now in the past I have not used wood chips on my annual garden bed because I do like to broadcast seeds. And wood chips would not provide a good environment for that. But I thought, well, what if I take a couple of garden beds where I know I won't be broadcasting seeds in the near future and use wood chips on those beds? And that's what I decided to do. So I'm going to do it here on this bed of collard greens. I'm going to do it on a bed of kale over there, and I'm going to see how it goes. I'm back at the wood chip pile today, and I wanted to get some wood chips for my garden beds for mulch. And I wanted some chips that were more broken down. So I went to a section of the pile where no one ever digs and found these chips, and much to my surprise, it's just absolutely full of worms. So these guys will be making their way to my garden today. And I'm glad I learned this today. I'll be using this technique a lot, using these broken down wood chips for mulch in the garden and getting a bonus with these extra worms. Okay, let's get some wood chips on this bed. There's also some garlic here. I'm sure they won't mind the chips. Already I'm coming into contact with worms. Starting to rain. There's one of the new worms I'm adding to my bed that I found in the wood chip pile today. And it's a real big advantage that these chips are much more broken down. So there's positive microbiological activity going on. In addition, they're much smaller than what's typically found in that wood pile. Well, I'm going to have to put the camera away because it is raining. Okay, the rain subsided a bit. I've got some of the chips down. Got this bed of greens here. Got some collard greens, kale, garlic at the end, and worms everywhere in this in these wood chips, which is really awesome. Spreading the chips around the collard greens and the kale. And like I said, I won't be broadcasting seeds in here for a while, so I feel pretty good about using chips here. So many worms, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to keep them fed, so these wood chips will be a big help. So what I'll do is I'll continue to add my coffee grounds and grass clippings and all those other materials, the yard waste that I always use. I'll add those right on top of the wood chips, and they'll break down quickly, and the wood chips will stay here as a good food source for the worms. I also have to say that I like the look of the wood chips a lot more than the leaf mulch that I have. So here's the leaf mulch. which looks okay. But I think the wood chips are much more attractive. That bed's got wood chips on them. That's a good looking bed of collard greens right there. Full of earthworms. It's going to help retain all that moisture in the garden bed. A lot of fungal activity. Beneficial microbial activity in general. I think it's going to work nice.